Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryaṃ Karavāvahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Welcome to yet another session of Ola Samskrita Sahitya lecture series. We are reading Urubhangam. Before I start, let me wish you all happy Onam, Ona Shansakal. Here in Kerala, we had a wonderful Onam celebrations. And you can see my sari, that is also Onakudi. Last 2 years, this is 2 years back I got this gift. So, happy Onam to all. And with this happy note, let us start from where we stopped last Sunday. So, Bhimasena has hit Duryodhana on both of his thighs, and Balarama is very angry with that. And Balarama feels that Duryodhana is being cheated. And Duryodhana remarks, he talks to Balarama and says, Bhimasena, who has that much buddhi chaturya, through which he saved all the Pandavas from the Lakshagriha, he fought single-handedly with the Rakshasa Raja Hidimba, and he defeated the Ganas of Kubera. That Bhima had to think of some deceitful means to defeat me. Yadi evam samavaishimam chalajitam bho Rama naham jitaha. Then I am not won over at all. I haven't been defeated. If you feel that this is not the play of superior skills in Gadayuddha, but a cheating which Bhimasena has done, then I got a solace in my heart that I am not defeated at all. But Baladeva is still burning with anger, he is wild with rage, and he says, Bhimasenaha idanim tava yuddhavanchanam utpadya sthasyati. Will Bhimasena live? Will he be alive after causing such a cheating to you, deceitful cheating, in the Yuddha, in the Gadayuddha? Kim sahasthasyati? Then Duryodhana again says, Kimaham Bhimasenena vanchitaha. Do you feel that I have been deceived by Bhimasena? Kimaham Bhimasenena vanchitaha. Vanchita, nobody has a doubt, he has been deceived. But there is a, very sarcastically Duryodhana is asking, do you feel that I have been deceived by Bhimasena? Atha kena bhavan evam kritaha? Then who rendered you to such a pitiable condition? Tell me, if not Bhima, who else? Balarama is asking. If not Bhima, who else? It is certainly Bhima. Then Duryodhana says, Shruyatam, listen, it's not Bhima. And that, we stopped there. That verse calms down Balarama like anything. When he learns that it is not Bhimasena, but it is Krishna who is behind all these deceit. And Krishna is the dear younger brother, a sibling to Balarama. If it comes to the finger is pointed at Krishna, he calms down suddenly. Duryodhana says, Shruyatam yenendrasya pārijātakatarurmānena tulyaṃ hṛtaha divyaṃ varṣasahasramarṇavajale suptaśca līlayā tīvrāṃ bhīmagadāṃ praviśya sahasā nirvyājayuddhapriyas tenāhaṃ jagataḥ priyeṇa hariṇā mṛtyoḥ pratigrāhitāḥ. Tena jagataḥ priyeṇa hariṇā. By him, Hari, Krishna, harati manausi sarvesham iti harihi. So, tena hariṇā, how is Hari? Jagataḥ priyeṇa, one who is loved by the entire universe. Jagataḥ priyeṇa hariṇā aham By him I was pratigrāhitaḥ, given as a gift to whom? mṛtyoḥ pratigrāhitaḥ, to the god of death. So he gave my life as a gift to the god of death. That Hari, who is jagataḥ priya, who is loved by all the people. It's not Bhīmasena. Okay? And how am I? I am nirvyājayuddhapriyas. I am yuddhapriya. I love wars. I love fights and battles, especially with the Pandavas. But in the wars, I never have done any cheating. It's a straight fight always. Nirvyāja. I don't need any deceitful measures to be employed while I am fighting. Nirvyāja. So, vyājena rahitam yad yuddham tad yuddham yasya priyaha tādrṣah aham hariṇā mṛtyoḥ pratigrāhitāḥ. He handed over me to mṛtyu. Now, pratigrāhitāḥ, see here we can just think of a little bit of grammar. Like pratigrāhitāḥ, handing over, giving, gifting. So that becomes sampradana, and which would require chaturthi. Basically, sampradane chaturthi. So it could have been mṛtyave pratigrāhitāḥ, but because Bhasa is an earlier dramatist, and in the first introductory lecture of Bhasa's lecture series, we saw that there are many unpaninian forms found in Bhasa's literature. So this could be like one of that, So mṛtyave pratigrāhitāḥ or mṛtyoḥ pratigrāhitāḥ. Bhasa would prefer mṛtyoḥ pratigrāhitāḥ. Nirvyājayuddhapriyas aham. How am I? Nirvyājam chalarahitam yuddham yasya priyaha tādrṣah aham. So I don't trust in any chala, any cheating or any deceit. So nirvyāja chalarahitam yuddhapriyas. And how is this Krishna? Yena, by whom? Indrasya pārijātakatarurmānena hṛtah. Okay? Yena, by whom hṛtah was carried away. What? Pārijātakatarurmānena, the tree of Parijata, Shefalika, belonging to whom? Indra. Now this is a story of Indra-Krishna fight. Indra-Krishna fight happens 2 times, Once during that Govardhana Giridhari episode, because Krishna refused to offer worship to Indra and said that before Indra we should worship Govardhana Parvata, who provides all that green grass to our cattle, and because of that we the cowherds can live happily here, and he is the one, that mountain, who gives us shelter, and our food and everything, our nourishment comes from him. And then Indra poured, cats and dogs, and entire Gokula got flooded, and Krishna saved all the Gokulavasi people. And that is the Govardhana Giridhari episode in the Bhagavata, in the Krishna Charitra. So that time he took a fight with Indra, and then Indra ultimately got pleased and gave a title Upendra to Krishna. So this is how the story goes. So that was one incident. Second one was Satyabhama, one of the beautiful queens of Krishna, beloved of Krishna. She demanded that she must have pārijātakataru. Pārijātaka was supposedly a divine taru. Even Banabhatta mentions, pārijātakataru. So in the Mahashveta episode, you come across that, Pundarika and Mahashveta, Pārijātaka Manjari. Now again, this is a controversy. Pārijātaka, popularly we say it is a Shefalika or Prajakta in Marathi, with the orange little stem, and 5 very delicate petals but very fragrant petals. And the moment you hold them in your palm, the heat of the palm would weather them out. So delicate they are. They are known as pārijātaka everywhere, but after coming to SIF campus here, I have seen one tree and which Swamiji said, this is a pārijātakataru. And you know what? That pārijātaka has manjiri, like a tulsi has manjiri, this pārijātaka has manjiri. And then I could relate suddenly, yes, in the Sanskrita Sahitya, pārijātaka has a manjiri, has a long, like a flower with tiny, tiny flowers, attached to that. And these tiny flowers, I can show you sometimes the picture of Pārijātaka Manjari, Pārijātakataru. Here, it was in full blossom. I have a photograph with me. Maybe I'll show it. I'll ask the media to show it up later. Okay. So, Pārijātakataru has a Manjari, and Banabhatta mentions that that Manjari was worn on the ear. Now, how can you wear the tiny flowers of Pārijātaka in the air as an ear ornament, right? So, it must be a Pārijātaka Manjari, and Banabhatta uses the word Manjari there. Not just Pārijātaka, but Pārijātaka Manjari. Anyhow, but Pārijātaka trees Satyabhama wanted. And Indra will not part with his Pārijātakataru, it is his tree, And therefore, again there was a fight between Indra and Krishna. This is the second incident where Krishna defeated Indra and carried away that Pārijātakataru from Svarloka to Bhuloka. And therefore, Indrasya Pārijātakataruhu yena hṛtaha. And he did not just carry away that tree, along with that tree, he carried away the self-respect of Indra. Mānena tulyaṃ pārijātakataruhu hṛtaha. Along with his mana, along with his respect, he is called the Lord of the gods, and still he got defeated by Krishna, who is staying on Bhuloka. So, pārijātakataruhu api hṛtaha, Indrasya manaha, abhimanaha, tasya garvaha api, yena hṛtaha, tena hariṇā, aham nirvyājayuddhapriyas, duryodhanaha, mṛtyoḥ pratigrāhitāḥ. In Maharashtra, about this Pārijātaka, there is a song. I don't remember the entire song, but Satyabhama got that tree, she planted it in the courtyard of her palace, and you know what? The flowers got scattered in the next courtyard which belonged to Rukmini. Phule ka padati shezari. So that is the one sentence which we have. So though Pārijātaka tree was in the possession of Satyabhama, actual enjoying of the beauty, the fragrance of the flowers was the privilege of Rukmini and not Satyabhama. So, Phule ka padati shezari. So, yena hariṇā indrasya pārijātakataruhu mānena tulyaṃ hṛtaha. That is one exploit of Indra. Another, divyaṃ varṣasahasramarṇavajale suptaśca līlayā. Look at his Leela. He can stay for thousands of years in the unfathomable waters of the mighty ocean, varṣasahasramarṇavajale yaha suptaha. And for that's just like a child's play for him. He doesn't pose as if he is doing a great thing by sleeping on the Shesha bed in the Arṇavajala, in the Mahasagara. So that is just a Leela for him. Divyaṃ varṣasahasra. And it is not the Manusha varṣasahasra, it is divyaṃ, the gods, thousands years, not the humans, thousands of years. So, divyaṃ varṣasahasramarṇavajale suptaśca līlayā. That Hari, what did he do? Tīvrāṃ bhīmagadāṃ praviśya. He entered the mighty mess of Bhimasena, sahasā, all of a sudden, and he gave me as a gift to the god of death. So it was he who caused he is not yet dead, but he is on the verge of dying any moment. So this pitiable, wretched condition I am rendered to is not by Bhimasena, it is all caused by Shri Krishna. So though he hated Shri Krishna, he knows the greatness of Krishna, and therefore here he counts, the one after the other, the exploits of Shri Krishna, and this sort of, his end is near, and now he can foresee what he is going to be after this. I mean, he will be no more on this earth, and therefore he doesn't want to carry any bondage of enmity with him. He wants to forget all sorts of enmity with the Pandavas and with the Shri Krishna as well, and therefore he is praising Krishna in an indirect manner. Not directly, but indirectly, he is praising Krishna by enumerating his exploits in this manner. So now for the whole of the Anvaya, aham nirvyājayuddhapriyas aham tena hariṇā mṛtyoḥ pratigrāhitāḥ kīdrishah harihi jagataḥ priyeṇa hariṇā. Number 1. Another, yenendrasya pārijātakatarurmānena tulyaṃ hṛtah. Third, divyaṃ varṣasahasramarṇavajale suptaśca, and that too līlayā. He, what did he do? tīvrāṃ bhīmagadāṃ praviśya sahasā. All of a sudden, without anybody expecting anything like this would happen, all of a sudden, ekaeki, he entered, he told Bhimasena to hit me at my thighs. So it is not Bhima, it is Krishna. So the first two lines here, kimchaham Bhimasenena vanchitaha, atha kena bhavan evam krita, if not Bhima, who else? And then he gives this answer, certainly not Bhima, it is Krishna who has rendered me to this pitiable condition. All of a sudden, Balarama gets calmed down. Okay? And nepathye, before, the dramatist doesn't want to deal much with how there is Vaivarnya, the color of Balarama's face got faded and all. Before that, he enters, he gives an indication behind the scene, behind the screen. There is an indication that, utsarata, there are people coming up on the battlefield. And who are they? They are dhṛtarāṣṭro, Gandhari, Duryodhana's 2 wives, and his little son Durjaya. 5 of them are entering. So nepathye, see, this is a very, what you can say, quick twist to the whole thing. Otherwise, how would Balarama react to this when he knows that it is my own brother Krishna who has done it and not Bhimasena? Because Bhimasena was never loved by Balarama. It was always Duryodhana whom he loved more. And therefore he is too angry and is ready to kill Bhimasena with his hala, with his musala, churni krita, etc., etc. But the moment he listens, it is Krishna, he is like speechless. And now, to avoid his embarrassment perhaps, there is an indication in the nepathye, utsarata, ayyā, utsarata. Oh people, there are nobody there, in the battlefield. The people who were fighting, they are almost all dead. Who are not dead? They are dying, they are on the deathbeds. The horses, the elephants, they are also dying. The chariots are broken. Who are there? But normally, whenever some royal people are entering, there are escorts. Somebody would say, khadi talim, like, utsarata, apasarata, a rahe he, like that. So utsarata, and Baladeva just sees and says vilokya, having seen, ayyā, oh, ayamatrabhavān dhṛtarāṣṭraha gandhārī cha, or gandhāriyāsah dhṛtarāṣṭraha durjayena ādeshitamargaha antahpura anubandhaha shokābhibhūta hridayah chakitagatihi ita eva abhivartate. The main sentence is ayam atra bhavan dhṛtarāṣṭraha ita eva abhivartate. Oh, here atra bhavan and tatra bhavan, these are the two words in Sanskrit normally used to give honor and respect to the person. It is not just dhṛtarāṣṭra, it is respected dhṛtarāṣṭra, honorable dhṛtarāṣṭra, as we prefix HON, honorable, behind vice chancellor, behind some dignitaries like that. So here it is atra bhavan. And why atra bhavan? Because he is seeing them approaching. Atra gives you nearness, tatra is a distance, like this and that. Okay, this is here and that is there, at a distance. Atra bhavan. So that means they have come very near. So this is again the correct use of the words, Ayam atra bhavan dhṛtarāṣṭraha ita eva abhivartate. He is approaching here itself. Ayyā, oh alas, this should not have happened. How come the blind king, he is coming here along with his blindfolded wife and his daughters-in-law and his grandkid. I mean, this is not a place for the blind people and the aged people to come. Ayyā. Now, ayyā, again, this sambodhana could be used in various senses. So, the context matters. According to the context, you have to translate that. Oh, alas. Oh, alas. Oh, this should not have happened in this. This is the sense of it. Atra bhavan dhṛtarāṣṭraha ita eva abhivartate. How is he? Chakita gatihi. His gati, his gait, gati is gait, his movement, is chakita, is startled, is confused, because he is all, he has heard about Duryodhana being almost fatally wounded, and therefore he is eager to see the last surviving tanaya of his own, and therefore dukkhabhibhuta. And it is said, shokabhibhuta hridayah, because his heart is filled with shoka, with pathas. That is why his gati, as it is, he is blind, therefore he can't see. Second reason, this is a battlefield. This is not his palace where he can move around, like he is habituated to, is used to. Battlefield, there are ups and downs, and there are things scattered, the weapons are scattered here and there. That is the second reason. The third and the most prominent reason for his confused gait, startled gait, is his shoka. Shokabhibhuta hridayah chakita gatihi ita eva abhivartate. He is accompanied by Gandhariyasah, with Gandhari. Because he is blind, he can't see. Durjayena adeshita margaha. The marga, the road, the way is being indicated by, being pointed by Durjaya, the son of Duryodhana, and antahpuranubandhaha, and along with the antahpura of Duryodhana, the harem, the Rani Vasa, the queens of Duryodhana. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra is entering here along with Gandhari, his own wife, along with two wives of Duryodhana, and the path, the way ahead is being guided by Durjaya, his grandkid. Ya esha. Balarama is describing Duryodhana. Now, Balarama is describing Dhṛtarāṣṭra. Dhṛtarāṣṭra is also a Kuru king, and therefore very respectable, very valorous, and this and that. Just because of his physical handicap, he could not, excel in anything and as a Kaurava, but nonetheless by build and by his valor, by his glory, he is shining with Kshatriya Teja, and that is how Balarama has described him. Viryakarassuta prabhibhakta chakshuhu darpodyatah kanakayupa vilamba bahuhu srushto dhruvam tridiva rakshana jata shankaihi devairarati timiranjali taditakshaha. A very good description, I must say. Dhṛtarāṣṭra we never come across, described in any of the Sanskrit dramas like this. He has never been portrayed, he's never been portrayed as hero of anything, and therefore there are no descriptions found. But Bhāsa, as a Mahakavi, he will not spare even a single opportunity to describe, all the great people. I mean, as Duryodhana's father, as the Kuru Raja, Dhṛtarāṣṭra was great, and how great he was. Viryakaraha. Akara is a reservoir, a storage, a mine. Like in Kautilya's Arthashastra, we have Akaradhyaksha, a mine superintendent. Adhyaksha, Sitadhyaksha, Sutradhyaksha, Suradhyaksha. Like there is Akaradhyaksha, mine superintendent, an officer to take care of the mines, Ratnakaraha, Akara, Ratnanam Akaraha is a commonly used word for an ocean, for a sagara, Ratnakara. Now he is Viryakara, Viryasya Akaraha. He is the mine of valor, Virya, Shaurya, bravery. He is a storage of Virya, a mine of valor. Suta Shata Pravibhakta Chakshuhu. One who, Chakshuhu, not exactly the physical eye, but the vision in the eye, the eyesight, the vision, Pravibhakta is distributed amongst Suta Shata, his 100 sons. Because he is blind, he cannot see, he saw so long through the eyes of his 100 sons. So he didn't have only 2 eyes, he had 200 eyes. Suta Shata Pravibhakta Chakshuhu. Chakshuhu nama Chakshoho yat samarthyam drashtum tat. So eyesight, his eyesight being divided into hundreds of his sons. Suta Shata. Darpodyataha. He is udyata, puffed up, heated, augmented with darpa, with pride. Darpeṇa udyataha, utsiktaha. Darpotsiktaha, darpodyataha. Kanakayupa vilamba bahuhu. Bahu, his arms, if you just let loose your arm and if they reach your knee, your ajanubahutva, Prabhu Ramachandra was ajanubahu, right? So his bahu, his hands, when let loose like this, they look vilamba, hanging down, they look like kanakayupa. They look as straight, as solid as the sacrificial post made up of kanaka, gold, golden sacrificial post, sacrificial pillar. So his bahu, his bahu, the arms, like let loose like this, they would look like they are shining and therefore golden look. They are stout and round like the kanakayupa, and they are vilamba, they are reaching till his knees perhaps. Kanakayupa vilamba bahuhu. So very nice 4 attributes of Dhṛtarāṣṭra here. Viryakaraha, Sutashata Pravibhakta Chakshuhu, Darpodyataha, and Kanakayupa vilamba bahuhu. Srishtaha dhruvam tridiva rakshana jata shankaihi devaihi arati timiranjalita taditākshaha. Now this is a very tricky sentence. He has the capacity, because of his golden, shining, round, stout bahus, because of his bravery, his viryakaratva, and because he has got 100 brave sons, and he himself is, elated, puffed up by his pride, he is a threat to the gods all the time. The gods treated him as their enemy, and enemies you would try to vanquish at any cost, and therefore perhaps tridiva rakshana jata shankaihi devaihi, the gods who got a fear, shanka, samshaya in their mind regarding what? Tridiva rakshana. How would we protect Tridiva? That is our Svargaloka. If this Dhṛtarāṣṭra is so brave, he has got 100 brave sons, and he knows what valor he possesses, he is a great threat to us, and in order to save the heavenly kingdom from such a brave warrior king, they put a handful of darkness into his eyes and made him blind. Arati timiranjali taditākshaha dhruvam srishtaha ayam. See, he was turned blind. Tadita akshaha, his eyes were like struck hard. With what? Timiranjali. Timiranjali, ghana andhakara. Anjali is like this. So you fold it, you get the timira, the andhakara in your hand folds, and this you throw in the eyes. If you throw in the eyes even a little bit of anything, you get blindfolded. Then what to talk about Timiranjali? Ghanandhakarena yada chakshuhu taditaha tadayam janaha andho eva syat. Ataha, and this Timiranjali, this Ghanandhakara, is in the form of Arati. Arati is a synonym of Shatru. Arati is Vairi or Shatru. Now why Arati? If you just go back to the word, it just occurred to me right now while I am speaking. Ra is a typical Vedic root. Ra is to give, Ra Dane. And therefore we got Agnenaya Supatha Raye Asman in the Vedic Prarthana, we have got Ishopanishad. And Rayi is very commonly used, Rati is very commonly used. So, Ra is to give, so Rati is one who gives, and Arati is one who does not give. One who does not give you, that means he wants to steal something from you, he is your enemy, he is not your friend. So that could be the meaning of, etymological meaning of Arati. But Arati in the lexicons you find it as a synonym for Shatru or Vairi, enemy. So he was treated as enemy, and therefore a handful of darkness, deep darkness was thrown into his eyes, and that was justified because they were afraid he might be a threat to the Tridiva, the heavenly kingdom, and therefore he was, though he was created with all this Kanakayupa Vilamba Bahuhu and Darpodyataha, etc., still they ensured that all this valor, his physical and his mental darpa, will not work if he is blind, and therefore they made him blind. So this is a beautiful verse describing Dhṛtarāṣṭra, perhaps the only verse in the entire Sanskrit literature which describes Dhṛtarāṣṭra in these glorious manners. Tatah pravishati dhṛtarāṣṭraha gandhari devyau durjayascha. So the 5 people, they are entering Dhṛtarāṣṭra, Gandhari, devyau. Devi is normally the chief queen of a king. There are 2 queens, therefore dvivachana is used, and durjayascha, tatah pravishati. Now some people, they may ask, there are 4-5 people, then praviṣati, why this singular is used? If they are added by chakara, then you are allowed to use the singular. Otherwise, tatah praviṣanti. And then dhṛtarāṣṭro, gandhari, devi durjayāṣca. Then if you make it as a samasa, as a plural number, then it could be praviṣanti. But everybody is, pointed out in a singular, and therefore praviṣati can go with every noun. Tatah praviṣati dhṛtarāṣṭraha, tatah praviṣati gandhari, tatah praviṣati devi divyaṃ then, and tatah praviṣati durjayaha. Okay? Or you may say praviṣati again is an unpaninian. It could have been tatah praviṣanti durjayāṣca, etc. Dhṛtarāṣṭra is, because he can't see Duryodhana lying there on the stage at one corner, both his thighs broken. Putra kvasi. Gandhari also same. Putra kva asi. When the father calls, oh son, where are you? When the mother calls, Raja beta, kahan ho? Putra ka. That ka, it adds that tenderness, the love, the affection of a loving mother, For mother always, the kids, howsoever old they grow, they are kids only. So, putra ka. So, see the change, Putra kvasi, putra ka kvasi. Putta. Putra ka is putta, and that becomes puttar in Punjabi. Puttar, okay? Kahimsi, kahan ho? Kahan ho, kahimsi. Kva asi, kahimsi is Prakrit. Kahan ho, Hindi, has come from that. Divyaṃ, they would address Maharaja. How? See, the addresses, they differ, the vocatives, they differ. Dhṛtarāṣṭra addresses only as Putra, Gandhari as Putraka, and the 2 queens as Maharaja. Maharaja, kva asi, bhoh kashtam, and there is no reply from Duryodhana, bhoh kashtam. Vanchana nihatam shrutva sutamadhyāhave mama mukham antargatāsrakṣam andham andhataram kritam. He says, Vanchana nihatam shrutva mama sutam adya ahave. I heard today that adya ahave yuddhe samare. Okay, samarangane, rane. Adya mama sutam ahave vanchana nihatam shrutva. When I heard that today my son was deceitfully striked or deceitfully killed, not exactly killed, but deceitfully beaten up. Mukham antargatāsrakṣam andham andhataram kritam. I have become blinder. I am blind. But andham andhataram kritam. What made andhatara? Antargata asraksham. My eye is within. I can't see. But nobody can stop tears flowing from my eyes. And when even a man with a normal eyesight, when his eyes get flooded with tears, he can't see what's going on. And now here, he is already blind, plus his eyes are bleeding, because he heard that his son is deceitfully cheated, by Bhīmasena and defeated. Hearing that, mukham antargatāsrakṣam. My eyes are bleeding, my eyes are trickling down the tears, and those tears have choked up all my oral cavity, and therefore I have been rendered more blind than what I was. Simple meaning is, I am blind, I can't see, but this sort of deceitful Gadayuddha has hurt me all the more, and I am really more blind today than I was ever so. If that is his condition, the women are more delicate than men. They would give up and they would succumb and they would collapse at any calamity, because they are not so strong emotionally, they are weaker. And therefore he asked Gandhari, Kim dharase? Are you still holding on? Are you alive? After hearing this, I am almost like dead. I am more blind. What am I living for? I don't understand. Oh Gandhari, are you holding up your lives? Gandhari, Kim dharase? Gandhari says, Jivitasmi mandabhaga. Misfortune this is my misfortune. I am so unfortunate. I am living. My pranas are not discarding this coil, and therefore I am living. Jivitasmi mandabhaga. What to do? I am living even now. Divyaṃ, Maharaja, they are also looking for, Putra kvasi, Putraka kvasi, Maharaja kvasi, and then in between husband and wife they are sharing a very delicate moment of their son's son's death now, any moment, and Divyaṃ, Maharaja, and they are also crying. When they are talking, when they are calling Maharaja, they are weeping, because they also can't see Maharaja, because he is lying in one corner, right? And Raja says, Duryodhana, bho kashtam, yan mamapi striyaha rudanti. Oh, even my wives are weeping. I have seen the wives of my enemies weeping so far. When I killed them, when I defeated them, their wives I have seen, lamenting on the deaths of their husbands. Today, mama api, striyaha, my wives are also. So what a condition now. I thought I am Duryodhana, Dushtam Yodhum, Nobody can fight against me. I am so invincible. That was the pride I nurtured all my life. And see today, mamapi striyaha rudanti. And listening to their lamentations, he feels the pain of being hit by Bhima all the more. For a true warrior, the gunshots, the swords, and the other weapons, they don't hurt as much as the weepings, the lamentations of the near and the dear hurt them. Purvam na janami gadabhighata rujam idanim tu samarthayami yanme prakashikrita murdhajani ranam pravishtānya varodhanani. Purvam, earlier, na janami, I did not realize, I did not know. Gadabhighata rujam. Ruj is a wound. Ruj. Gadabhighata, the wound caused by striking of the mace, the club. Gadayaha abhighatena jatam ruj. Gadabhighata ruj. Tena rujam tam. Purvam na janami, I did not realize the pain of the wound caused by the mighty mace of Bhimasena. Idanim tu, but now, samarthayami, I am realizing it. I did not know the pain then, but now I am realizing it. I feel it, samarthayami, I am feeling it. Yet, when? Me avarodhanani. Avarodhanani, my harem, my wives, my inner queen's apartment, the queens. Avarodha basically is an obstruction. Ava plus rudha. Rudha is to grow, ruha. From ruha is to grow. Ava is down, so not growing, so obstructing, causing an hindrance, okay. And therefore pranavarodhaha, durgavarodhaha, the fort, the access to the fort is being obstructed by the canals, etc. Then it is durgavarodha. Srotovarodhaha, srota, the streams are obstructed by mighty boulders in the stream. So Avarodha, the basic meaning is an hindrance. Another meaning is encasement or a fort, encamping something. Now, how it came to mean the wives of the queen, wives of the king, the queens? Because normally the queens are always placed in the innermost apartments. Innermost. They are not, easily accessible to all. They can't come out easily out and see things going on. They never they never come out having their hair loose. Prakashīkrita mūrdhajani, that's what has been used by Bhasa here. So avarodhanani, because they are well protected, so this could be meaned as a protected, the queens have to be protected all the more, and therefore they are the inner compartments, and therefore it could mean the harem. And harem, it by lakshana, it is not the harem, it is the inmates of the harem who need protection. And therefore avarodhanani comes to mean the wives or the queens of the king. So ranam pravishtani avarodhanani. Today I can feel the pain when my queens have entered the rana, have entered the battlefield. How? Prakashīkrita mūrdhajani. Even their hair, the tip of their fingers are not seen by anybody, and they are here, without any veil, without covering their hair. Normally the hair get covered. When the queens enter, their hair gets covered. Their hair is not seen by the people. So Prakash, now they have come in a hurry. After listening to the deceitful Gadayuddha, they have all rushed to the battlefield in whatever circumstances, conditions they were, and therefore they did not care to cover up their bodies, cover up their heads, and they came like that. And therefore Prakashīkrita mūrdhajani ranam pravishtanya varodhanani. And now this is the moment I feel, oh, I can't even greet them, I can't get up, and they have to see me lying here in this wretched condition. So that is the grief of Duryodhana. I am sure we can all empathize with him. I got some messages from you people that, I have started loving Duryodhana after listening to your lectures. It is not my lectures. It is Bhasa's portrayal of the character that makes you feel your empathy flowing to Duryodhana. Okay? So, yanme prakashīkrita mūrdhajani ranam pravishtanya varodhanani. So, this is when now I have started feeling the pain. Dhṛtarāṣṭra says, Gandhari, kim drishyate Duryodhana namadheyaha kulamani. Can you see Duryodhana, the person named Duryodhana, who is very, full of pride for our Kuru family, Kulabhimani. Now, isn't this question very ridiculous or superficial, arbitrary in a sense? Because Dhṛtarāṣṭra is blind, Gandhari has blindfolded herself, she also can't see, he also can't see. But this is not the way to judge him, He is shokabhitapta, shokabhibhuta, and therefore he doesn't know what he is talking to. He knows for sure that Gandhari can't see him in person, but can you feel him? The blind people have got their sixth sense. They can see through their skin, through the smell, through the sound. The other four indriyas are very sharp when one indriya is not working at all. So, do you see Duryodhana means? Do you feel Duryodhana somewhere nearby? The body odor of a son. Mother knows the son. Okay? And maybe his size, his sound, even a very delicate, like what, exhalation of breath, and mother knows the child is well or sick. From the breath of the child also a mother can realize. So, kim drishyate Duryodhanaha? Duryodhana namadheyaha kulabhimani. I mean, it is not to be taken in the literal sense, do you see Duryodhana? And when Maharaja, she says, Gandhari replies, na drishyate, that means I can't sense him anywhere. I can't feel him anywhere. I don't hear him anywhere. So, darshana, this drishti, this is pratyaksha, is not only by chakshurindriya, it is vishayendriya sannikarshayam jnanam pratyakshamityabhidiyate. It is not only what we see with our eyes, what we hear with our ears, what we smell, what we taste and what we feel. All the panchajnanendriyas is called pratyaksha, and therefore here drishyate, this darshana is not limited to chakshurindriya. Have you experienced, have you felt Duryodhana nearby? And Gandhari replies negatively saying, na drishyate, I couldn't feel him, I couldn't experience him anywhere near me, sense him near me. Katham na drishyate hanta bhoho. Is he no more then? We came with a view that at least we would meet him and talk to him, but you don't even feel him. Na drishyate hanta bhoho, alas. Adya ahamasmi andhaha yahaham anveshtavye kale putram na pashyami. I am totally, really blind today. So long, sutta shatas pravibhakta chakshuhu, my eyesight was divided amongst 100 sons. But today, I have literally become blind. 99 sons I have already lost. This is the last one. Nobody can sense him, feel him around. That means he is no more perhaps. Adyaham asmi andhaha yaha aham anveshtavye kale. This is the time when I want to see, want to search, want to locate my son and I can't find him. Na pashyami bhoh kritanta hataka. Bhoh kritanta, the god of death. Hataka, oh wretched god of death. How you are, how cruel you are. You are not allowing me the last sight, the last sensation, last feeling, last embrace of my son. Ripu samara vimardam manavirya pradiptam sutta shatam atidhiram viram utpadyamani dharanit talavakirnam kimsa yogyo na bhoktum sakradapi dhṛtarāṣṭraha putra dattam nivapam. A very beautiful verse, but I will stop here and we'll see the verse next time. This is a very pathetic condition of Dhṛtarāṣṭra that is being described by Bhāsa. The greatest of the grief for a father is that he doesn't have any descendant of his own to give him even a tilanjali, to do his shraddha, to do tarpana for him. That is the greatest grief. In Shakuntala, Kalidas also echoes the same thing when Dushyanta is so grieved after the Dhanamitra episode, and he grieves, his fortune was walking in front of him, the Asanna Prasava Shakuntala, and he just repudiated and sent her away. And then he is now grieving, I don't have a son to give me a tilanjali. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra's grief is not the death. Being a true Kshatriya, he knows for a Kshatriya death is the Viragati. But not a single son being survived, in this death, to give him, to offer him tilanjali, that is his greatest grief. So this is again, Bhasa's staunch nishtha in the Sanatana Dharma, in the Hindu Dharma. We have been saying throughout from the first and the second lecture that Bhasa was a staunch follower of the Sanatana Dharma, the theory of karma, the theory of punarjanma, and this Pitru Tarpana and this and all the other things. So this Pitrutarpana he would be missing if none of his sons survive, and that is the greatest grief. So we'll see the verse next time. Till then, goodbye. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.